Howdy folks, Brian Cusco here at Triple B, and we're at our first interview back at the Tenley Reptile Show in Chicago. And we've got Mr. Todd Goodman, the owner of Timberline, today as our guest. And if you don't know who Todd is, you're gonna know after this. You should know who Todd is. He's a very important person in the herpetoculture world. And without further ado, you watch Triple B TV. The first time, well, let's say every single time that I've been to US Arc Auction, you've been there.
Probably so, yeah.
And you're always just dropping tons of money on stuff.
It
Obviously,
protects us.
coming from a place of support. I mean,
Yeah.
Timberline, how long has Timberline been?
1973 is when Timberline was
1973?
started, yeah. It was my dad that started it.
Okay.
It was a bait supply company. So when I came out of college in '88, I was looking for something that wasn't so seasonal and so regional. So that's why we began to produce everything and focus on the pet industry. Because there are no real seasons. Animals got to eat year round. So yeah, long time.
Yeah, and is it reptile? Like, obviously I see you at the reptile shows because I'm a reptile guy. Do you guys go to like fish shows?
No.
Or? No.
No.
You guys are just reptile.
Yep. So the only shows we do are either reptile shows or Super Zoo or Global Pet Expo. The one that and those are industry shows where we're there talking to pet stores rather than just the end consumers. That's why we don't sell anything here.
Yeah. You
We're
guys
not
always
out
have like free crickets.
That's it.
Yeah.
Because we found out early on that people really need to learn more about how to feed their animals. A diverse diet. We've learned that on so many. I mean, look at when sugar gliders first came out. Sugar gliders wouldn't reproduce because everybody kept giving them fruit. They liked fruit, but they had to have protein. So once they started giving them protein, they started to reproduce. So we spend our time at these shows just kind of teaching people how to feed their animals.
And you've always got I see the same guys. Like, you got a solid crew.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Eric's been around, it may not be 20 years, but it may be. And Andy's been around, I think this is 6 years for him now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dude, so where do you learn, where do you get, like, is it something you learned from your dad, your family? Like, because you're a solid guy, like, obviously.
Appreciate that. You mean the business?
The business, yes.
So I grew up in the bait business, which means we always knew how all that stuff was produced, but we were essentially distributors. We were just moving it, because again, we didn't have a year-round market. We only had a seasonal one. Being from the Midwest, you only get to fish for so long. And then we had a hunting club that was designed to be in the winter and take up our time during that time. But then in '93, we sold all that and solely went to producing. Now, how did I learn this stuff? A lot of it you learn because you do it wrong. It's easy to produce all that we produce on a small scale. But when we're talking about, 30, 40 million crickets a week, that's a different story altogether.
30 to 40 million a week?
Yeah, when you're talking about that kind of volume, it's a different story. So we learned a lot of it the hard way. You learn from it, and you get better as you go. And that's essentially what we've done.
Are you a reptile keeper yourself? Like,
I am.
You
yeah.
are?
Yeah.
What do you keep?
I keep, we have a pretty crazy collection. First of all, my wife was a school teacher for 35 years. So, or 25 years. She always kept reptiles in her classroom. She had tortoises, she had bearded dragons, she had leopard geckos.
That's a cool teacher.
I really like, I love tortoises. So we keep some star tortoises, we keep some pancake tortoises. We have one glop, actually, that was a gift from Wayne Hill. Its name is Wayne Hilda. And we keep a lot of alligator lizards. We have some Shinosaurus, a lot of skinks, collared lizards. I mean, we've got a pretty good collection. We think it's important for our customer service people to take care of them. We have an intern that does it, but we want them to be part of taking care of because we want them to understand the relevance that we hold in the people that they're talking to on the phone. We want them to understand what those people are feeding and why the stores are concerned about sizing and all that kind of stuff.
Do you do like gut loading? Like, how do you do the feed for?
Well, so the story of Vitabugs is what came from that. Okay, so real quickly, you dust a cricket, 60 seconds, 90% of what you put on it, it's already groomed off. So the same with gut load. If you don't know that they ate it and you don't know that they still have it in them, you may not be succeeding. So I have had a friend in the industry for 25 years that we always pose questions and then go, okay, he's an entomologist. He has 2 degrees. He's a doctor of entomology and of nutritional analysis. So we worked together for 9 years on Vitabugs, which was designed to put, it's not gut load, it's actually loading their body. So the way we grow them and what we feed them adds all of those nutrients to their body. It's not dependent upon doing anything else. So that was one of those where we always thought it could work, and it does. So that's how we do in our own animals, and then that's how we recommend to use those in tandem with. Only thing you got to make sure they've got to have is calcium, which you can use calciworms for. You don't have to do the hocus pocus, or they've got to have fat, which you use waxworms. But mainly, they have all the nutrients they need. As long as you give them the proper lighting and give them a source of calcium, they're good to go. If they're Vitabugs, they're good to go.
Gotcha.
And it was never intended to be a gimmick. It was more intended to be a problem solver. Because the more successful people are with this animal that, maybe the average was 5 years, maybe now the average is 7 years. If the more successful we are with each animal, the more likely we are to get more. So that's kind of how we see our role in all of it.
Totally.
Yep.
And do you work directly with US? You're obviously at all the auctions.
Yeah.
Do you work? Are you on the board or something?
I am on the board.
You are
yeah,
on the board.
I've been on the board for could be 10 years now. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yep. And then everybody has to support US ARC if you like our hobby. And the reason is because they're the ones protecting us. A lot of people think, okay, when they tell us what to do, we make a phone call. Yes, but if nobody tells us what to do and nobody has a read on what's going on in Washington and Florida and in every state in the nation, then we don't know how to respond to it. So I think everybody has to. And it's not a matter of pride so much as necessity. So that's where we fall with it. That's why we support US ARC so strongly.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yep.
Well, it's good. I mean, you've got a strong presence in the industry. I mean, I don't, you go to all the big shows, obviously, and I see Timberline. You guys were at the slow. Were you guys at the slow? Yeah, I just saw you there. What am I talking about? We sat there and spoke about. I'm sober.
We were at the San Luis Obispo show because the Zoo Med guys are our friends. We hang out with them all around the country, and Gary always wanted to have a show in San Luis Obispo. The first time that the show happened a year and a half ago, it was supposed to be at the same time as Tinley.
Right.
Tinley got canceled, so we went just to kind of hang out. And we told them, if you'll tell us when it is and get it on the calendar, we will be there. And that show ended up being great.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about a show that's a fraction of the size of this one, and there were 8,000 people in that door. Holy cow.
Yeah.
I love it. But every show we've been to this year has been a record. Every one.
Everybody's ready to get out and go to these shows.
Our hobby is healthy, without question.
Yeah.
I mean, the entire pet industry pegged about a plus 40 in the month following the shutdown, and it's never stopped. That's why supply is so hard. Notwithstanding the fact that everybody has supply issues, with suppliers right now, it's not just that. The demand has gone up in the last year and a half far more than ever. This industry has never been stronger than it is right now. Never. Because I've been around it a long time.
Yeah.
And it is strong right now. The interest is strong. All the big guys, all the little guys recognize that if you have critters in your store, you're going to bring all the kids to the yard. It's the way it works.
Yeah.
That's why reptiles were so hard to get right after the shutdown. Everybody sold out. And everybody wanted more. Because reptiles go well with our lives when we're busy, when we're minimalists, where we don't want to have a big, you don't have to have a yard. I mean, you do if you have tortoises, but you also have to live somewhere where it's warm. But you don't have to have this space. You can keep a reptile in your office, in your dorm room, in your house, anywhere, and it's not overbearing. You don't have to take it out for a walk. You make sure it's got food and water and a clean cage. That's all you do. So I think that's one of the reasons it's so strong, is because lot of people don't have time for a dog or a cat or something else, but a reptile works.
Yeah.
Because you can leave for the weekend and come back and it's going to be fine.
Yeah, 100%.
It's the beauty of it. It fits our lives, I think.
Yeah, that's what I tell people all the time, too.
Yep.
They're super low maintenance. I mean, especially if you're talking about something like a snake, it's like ultimate low maintenance. But dogs are day to day, hour by hour sometimes.
And I like dogs. I like cats.
Me too.
It's not that. I'm just saying I think reptiles and amphibians and tortoises and things like that fit our lives better when we're very busy.
Yes, 100%.
So it's healthy. It's good stuff. I expect this to be crazy today.
And that's also why, back to your point about U.S. ARC, that's why it's important, because there are people actively trying to end
Absolutely
the keeping of reptile. Like, I don't think people fully, there are people that do fully understand that, but I think there's still people that don't really understand that there are actually people actively with large budgets working against us keeping animals, period.
And it's twofold. One, there are groups who believe that you and I shouldn't own any animal. Okay, that's not right. It's its own animal, and well, okay, but no. It's okay for horses, right? But not for dogs and cats and animals or reptiles. Come on, that doesn't make any sense. But there also our segment of the animal world freaks people out. So if they're misunderstood, then yeah, of course they want to get rid of them. And those entities those are for-profit entities.
Yeah.
Be sure about that.
Absolutely.
Those guys that want to get rid of all us, those are for-profit entities. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're going to win. We're going to keep fighting.
I think so, too.
We're going to.
I do believe that God's on our side. I mean,
Yeah.
It's just how it is. Yeah, it's great, man. Well, I appreciate everything you do for the
Thank
industry,
you.
man.
Thank you.
It's a lot. I don't think a lot of people recognize it. I saw it a while back. I kind of peeked and I was like, this guy's doing something. And the more I keep kind of watching like the things you do, I'm like, you're big behind the scenes.
We just, somebody's got to do it. I'm happy to do it because I love this family. I love our industry. I don't fit well in stuffy spaces anymore. I have a hard time going to the industry shows because they're much more uptight. This is a fun group of people and kind and supportive of each other, and it's very easy to get behind this group, and I love doing it. I do.
Yeah, well, it's good, man. Well, I'm looking forward to Timberline's and your continued success. Like, you took this from your father? So
I did.
Your
I got
kids?
3 boys.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing this go. Like, see my kids going to Timberline table, getting free tickets, and when they're
I
in
hope
there,
so too.
and
I hope so too.
on down the line, man.
I hope so too. Absolutely.
I appreciate you, Todd.
Hey, buddy, we
so much.
appreciate you. Thank you.
A big thank you, Todd, for coming to sit down with us today. I know that it's been a hot minute. Todd and I have been talking about doing that for a long time, and finally we got to make it happen. So we will be having a Zoom call with Todd tonight. Just click the link down in the description if you're interested in joining us for that. Todd is a wealth of information and a very important person in this hobby. So thank you guys for watching as always, and we'll see you next week here on Triple B TV. Y'all take care.
You understand why it needed to be done.
Right.
It's not a hard conversation.
No doubt.
But
I'm gonna have you, if you spin around a little bit just so you can see me easier.
people get romanticized.
Yeah, that's true. And then you're just gonna kind of want to keep that thing about a foot from your, like about a fist from your, not a foot, but like a fist. Yeah, just like that.
Sit like this.
You could sit like that. It would make the audio a little weird, but.
Sound like Charlie Brown's teacher.
Dude, seriously, man.
Thank you.
Fantastic. When this airs, which will probably be in like a month or so, because I got about 4 or 5 other ones that are coming out before, we generally do a Q&A with some folks like on a Zoom call. Are you able to maybe do that? Okay,
sure.
Cool. I'll just reach out to you beforehand, and like once I have the actual date, just go, I'll try to give you like a month in advance to
No problem.
get on the calendar. But
No problem. I'm very much farm based. I'm there all the time. It's a big place, so I'm there.
Where are you? You guys are in Texas?
No, we're in Southern Illinois.
Oh, Southern Illinois.
We're
Okay.
4.5 hours south of here.
Okay.
Yep.
How big is the facility?
It's big.
Well, I imagine. I mean, when you say crickets are small, but when you're talking about, what'd you say, 40 or 50 million a day?
Yeah. Here's what I'll do. I'll show you a picture. I'll show you an aerial photo of the farm, and it's still not accurate because there are half dozen more buildings there now. We've been in consistent growth for years.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's impressive, man.
I'll show you.
All right.
Come by. I'll show you.
All right. I'm going to come look right now.
All right, bud.